Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those new here, hi, my name is Jenny and I'm a second year family medicine resident. So last week I told you guys that I wanted to film a video on my new bullet journaling experience, and I also told you that I was taking notes on my iPad, and a lot of you have requested that I do a video specifically on that. So here I am. Just a little bit of backstory. Back in med school, I was taking notes exclusively on my iPad or pen and paper. And so all the PowerPoint slides that the professors would hand out, I would load them onto my iPad, and then I would use an app called Notability. Our program actually bought us both Notability and iAnnotate, but I found that I didn't like iAnnotate very much. I do not remember why. I think it wasn't very user-friendly. And then Notability I liked a lot. And then for bullet journaling, I actually have been bullet journaling since the second year of med school. I would have to say my bullet journaling style is a lot more minimalistic. I don't do fancy calendars, like I don't do themes or layouts or anything like that. I just write down all my thoughts and have an index, but I use the same bullet journal like theory basically. I'll link one of the first videos that I've ever watched in my original video down below. But the reason why I love bullet journaling is because it was a notebook. It was everything that I wanted in a notebook, but I'm super picky about things. Like my notebook has to be pretty. Like I hate making mistakes and crossing them out in my notebook. And I hate pasting in paper. Like if I had to write out, basically if I had like months of the year, like I would have to write it out. Like there's no way I would tape something into my notebook. And my notebook is pretty small. It's like pocket size, you know? And so I wouldn't tape anything in. So anything I wanted, I had to rewrite. So I feel like the digital journal will help me with a lot of that stuff because I could just import those images in. So that being said, enough talking. Let's go have a closer look at the iPad because I know that's what you guys really want to see. All right, so this is the iPad mini. It's pretty small. As you can see, it's like the size of my hand. And this is what I use to take notes during residency. I used to take notes on my iPad too when I was in med school, and I'll tell you the differences between the two. Currently, I am using this Smart Pencil. You just turn it on like that, and then you can click on stuff. I'm currently using GoodNotes. This is not the Apple Pencil. It's much cheaper, and I feel like it works just as well. In med school, I used something like this. This is a stylus. I think it's a lot cheaper. It's like only $2 to $3, and it comes in a pack. The only thing about that was the tip tend to rip a lot just because I was such a vigorous writer, I presume. So I had to replace these often. And then a lot of times the writing would skip and things like that. So it got really, really annoying. I'll link everything down in the description box down below, but I've been really loving this pen. So the reason why I started taking notes on my iPad was because I remember liking how everything was in med school, where everything was on like a device. All my notes, everything, if I needed to reference it, was in one place. I started to lose a lot of my notes, so then I started using the iPad again. In med school, I used an app called Notability. I liked it. I could import all the slides, all like PDF slides, PowerPoint slides, and then write notes directly on the slides. So now for taking notes, I use this app called GoodNotes, which is right here. So this is just an example of one of the notes that I took today. What's different between this app and the Notability app that I used in med school was that this one, I feel like it's specifically for writing. Yes, I can download PDFs and PowerPoints and stuff and write on there, but there's no like typing option up here. In Notability there was, and then in Notability you also had the option of recording things. What I like about this one is there's this cool search option. So say I wrote something and I want to type in injections, because I wrote something about that, and I put search and it searches the document, and obviously my writing is horrible, so they can't find it in there. But this option, you should be able to put in, like, say Medicare. So yeah, so it highlights this stuff and it shows you where in your notes you wrote certain things. So I guess if your handwriting is good enough and legible, then it should be able to find these words for you to reference. So I like that option a lot. Oh, another thing, a smart stylus. I realized that you had to change your writing posture. And this, like if you move it around and stuff, it's really important to line it up exactly how you're writing for the pen to actually work. So once I figured that out, the writing became a lot easier. So otherwise, how I like to start writing my notes is actually, I start off, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I start off with checkered or boxed paper. And I feel like this way my writing is a lot neater. I've done this since medical school. Anything that is a medication, I put in blue. Anything that is a mechanism of action, I put in pink. Anything that's an adverse effect, I put in purple. Workup, I put in green. So I think I've just stuck with that kind of trend throughout my note taking. And then in notes, I specifically write note and put a box around it. Anything contraindicated, it will be in bright red. So that is that. Well, another thing that I like about taking notes this way is that I can write in different sized ink, or like this is a thicker pen, this is a lighter pen color, and it's easy to put headers that way. So I guess I should do an example for you so you can see how I actually write it. I use this little function right here. What's awesome about this option here is that this little box keeps moving for you, so you don't actually have to pick up your pen. I remember in Notability, like every time I finished writing down here, I would have to go in and move this little box to continue writing. But this one, it moves for you. Solid lung nodule. And then, but yeah, so this is just everything, how I write my notes. And afterwards, when you're all done with that, I just click on more options to change paper template back to white. And then that's when it's all clear, all white, and it looks really neat. And you can print this as well. So that's just how I've been taking my notes. And since I was doing this, I decided, hey, let's just do a bullet journal as well. I actually bought this from Boho Berry just because I started trying to make a planner, but then it just was too time consuming. So I thought to myself, you know, I'd rather just pay for it. So I bought this one. I haven't dove deep into it yet, so I don't have much going on. I just thought I wanted it because I have lots of things to plan in the upcoming months. But as you can see, there are daily layouts. There's these different weekly layouts that I never got to use before, just because I was too lazy to actually use them. But they're like this. So in my October spread, let's turn this around so you can see. So this is my October spread. I just put in all the different rotations I'm having. So this little heart represents clinic days. The slash through it means that I am working half days. I put in exam dates. We're going on a retreat, residency retreat, so I drew that in there. I find that this is very calming to me, doodling and all that stuff. I didn't realize, but in my spare time, I like to do this. I'm on call this week. It just puts in the different things that I'm doing. This is a lot different than my bullet journal in a notebook, just because I don't have time to draw out all these boxes. And so in my book bullet journal, I would just say October and list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 31, and then write out the events. And then here on the little side here, I have my October task of what I want to do this month. Next, we go to like a weekly spread, but normally in my bullet journal, I would write out just Monday and then the date, and then write something, and the next Tuesday and then write something. I think for this, I'm only using it because it came with a plan already, blank pages. So I just dropped one of those in. And it's nice because I get to plan ahead. I felt like in my previous paper notebook journal, I never really planned ahead. I just planned like my day to day. So for example, this week, I had my in-cervix exam. I wanted to buy Halloween costumes or supplies for Halloween costumes for Wyatt and me and Stan. And then I have some YouTube videos that I wanted to film, and then an interview dinner that is going on. But otherwise, the rest of it is blank. And it's just nice that I have this layout so I can write things down. But if I didn't have this, if it was on paper, then it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be like this. I'm still trying to figure out what it is that I like. So I'm trying out all the different layouts. This is November. I did the same thing where hearts represents the days that I'm in clinic. The little lines represent which different rotations I'm on. This is a holiday, and same thing with December. One thing that I also started doing, see, this is the one thing I really don't like about bullet journaling on an iPad, is that sometimes it can take long to load, and I'm very impatient. But if you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see this, I put this tiny red dot here to represent the days that I am working out. So I'm keeping track. That's the only thing I'm keeping track of. If you guys remember from my previous bullet journal video, I had the list of October and the date 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all the way to 31, and then right next to the date it would be a little dot for the days that I went to the gym on. And so I wanted to incorporate that back into this type of format. So I just put the little dot there. As for the extras, I'm thinking about doing things, but I haven't done them yet. These little tabs are just like, this one's for my YouTube, different YouTube ideas, and this one is for work, different resources and just notes that I have. But I haven't really started using it full on yet, and I'll give you guys another update when I do, and the things that I love and don't love about it. I'm planning to do possibly like a gratitude page or a thankful page, a goals page, along those lines, but I haven't figured out what to put in all these empty blank pages yet. And so I haven't gone like super crazy with this journal yet. And I'm pretty sure that you can use another app called Procreate to make like different stickers and go all crazy with your art and stuff like that. And like if I were to draw this on Procreate, I would be able to save it and put it in other places, but I drew this directly into the bullet journal. So if I wanted to move this, then things around it would move. But yeah, so I don't know. I like it because I can make mistakes and erase it, and it looks perfect, and I don't have to glue stuff into this journal. I can just upload pictures and things like that and put it directly in. And that's the one thing I really love about having a digital bullet journal. But the one thing I don't like is that sometimes it just takes too long to load like this, and I have no patience for that. Still figuring out what I really like. So as for now, I think this is a good way in my residency to do things really fast and concise and have everything organized in one space. And it's lightweight, which I really like, but I think in the future, I would like to go back to pen and paper, like in a bigger notebook eventually, but I don't know. I'm so torn about it. Like, I have no idea, but I'm still figuring this out, planning everything to see how I like it. So let me know if you guys do bullet journaling. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it or any advice that you guys have. I feel like I've been doing this for 4 years now, but I still don't know what I like, especially now going over to the digital version. So yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Look, Wyatt. Oh my goodness, you're so silly.